Honorable Speaker, sir, through you, to bring to the attention of the House a very interesting development pertaining to the TRF, the Resistance Front. When the Security Council was debating this on the 25th of April, and TRF had twice claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam attack, Pakistan defended the TRF. Pakistan tried to get any mention of TRF excluded, and in fact the Pakistani Foreign Minister told his parliament that this is a great diplomatic achievement. Now, I mention it because today, again, thanks to our diplomacy, the TRF has been designated as a global terrorist organization by the US government, and the same Pakistani Foreign Minister who took so much pride saying, I defended the TRF, says, well, now if the US has done this, we accept it. So that is where the Security Council issue stood. If I could then, sir, move on to the diplomacy from 25th of April till the commencement of Operation Sindoor. During this period, there were obviously a number of phone calls, a number of conversations. At my level, there were 27 calls. At Prime Minister, I think almost 20 calls. About 35, 40 letters of support came in. And what we tried to do was to create a narrative, prepare the diplomacy for the launch of Operation Sindoor. And the result of that diplomacy, Honorable Speaker, sir, there are 193 nations of the members of the United Nations. 193. Only 3, apart from Pakistan, opposed Operation Sindoor. Only 3. If you look through this period, and I would be very happy to share with the House the exact positions of various governments, overwhelmingly, there was recognition that terrorism is unacceptable, that a country which has been attacked has a right to defend itself, and that India was doing exactly that. Now, when Operation Sindoor was launched, we spelled out our objectives. There was a statement, Honorable Raksha Mantriji referred to it in his statement, where we put out for the benefit of our own people, for the international community, that Operation Sindoor was hitting the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks had been planned and launched. We highlighted that 9 sites had been targeted, and we said that our actions are focused, measured, and non-escalatory in nature. And we were living up to the commitment that those responsible for this attack will be held accountable. This was the commitment which was endorsed by the UN Security Council, thanks to our diplomacy. It was a commitment made by the Prime Minister to the people of India that we would hit those symbols, those sites, those planning places. So today, when I hear many questions from across the aisle, I want to say, which one of you imagined that Bhavalpur and Muridke would be brought down the way it was? Which one of you thought? When did you even think of it during your tenure? Did it even cross your mind? In fact, on the contrary, you ruled it out after 26/11. So I think our objectives are very clear. We wanted to send a message to the terrorists. We wanted to send a message to Pakistan that do not continue this support for terrorism. And I think on the morning of 7th of May, that message went home loud and clear. Now, sir, during this period, there was, when the operations were on, when the conflict, when the activities were on, operation is still continuing. A number of countries, number of their leaders, ministers, others called up. And they called up because people wanted to know what is happening. People wanted to know what is the thinking of India. People wanted to understand what we are doing. And I would like to share with the House, sir, through you, to everybody, we gave a common message. The common message was India is exercising its right to defend itself against terrorism. Number two, the targets which were hit on the 7th of May are known terrorist headquarters and infrastructure. Number three, there will be no mediation. Anything between us and Pakistan is bilateral. Number four, we will never bow down to nuclear blackmail. Number five, we are responding to Pakistani military attacks because after Operation Sindoor was launched, they had started targeting our military facilities. And we will continue to hit the Pakistani military. If the fighting is to stop, Pakistan must request it. And that request must come through the designated channel of DGMOs. This was a common message that we had given to many people who had called us during that period. Our position was very, very clear in how we were approaching the progress of Operation Sindoor. Now, sir, many members asked, some out of genuine curiosity, some perhaps less, what was the international support? How much international understanding was there of India's position? I would like to share with you a sample. So let me start with countries who are known to be partners of India. Quad. Quad gave a statement which says, the Quad unequivocally condemns all acts of terrorism and violent extremism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. We condemn in strongest terms the terrorist attacks in Pahalgam on 22 April and call for perpetrators, organizers and financiers of this reprehensible act to be brought to justice without any delay. Now, sir, this is the Quad. Now, let us look at a different grouping, BRICS. Now, BRICS has China as a member, Russia as a member, it has Iran as a member, Brazil, South Africa, Egypt. BRICS also condemned the April 22 attack. It reaffirmed its commitment to combating terrorism, again including cross-border terrorism. Now, I would like members of this House to understand, if India is attacked, if there is a terrorist attack on India and a country says we condemn cross-border terrorism, I think it is obvious to everybody what that cross-border terrorism is. So, I then move on, sir, to the Central Asia. The Central Asian countries opposed providing safe haven using terrorist proxies for cross-border terrorism, for terror financing. Now, I can cite statements from the Indian Ocean Rim Association, from individual countries, range of them. President Putin, for example, has said, he wrote to our president and said this brutal crime has no justification whatsoever and its perpetrators will face a deserved punishment. The President of Paraguay has said that he expresses solidarity and recognized India's legitimate right to self-defense. So the main point, the common thread, sir, which I would like to bring out is that number one, a cross-border terrorism across the board has been recognized, all forms and manifestations, opposition to condemnation of Pahalgam terrorist attack, and the right of India to bring people to justice. Now, sir, in addition to that, I would particularly like to mention 2 or 3 other developments. One, the American designation of TRF. On the 17th of July, the Department of State designated TRF as a foreign terrorist organization and especially designated global terrorist. Now, this comes in the wake of the extradition of Tahawur Rana, who was involved in the 26/11 attack. And when people ask today, how successful is your foreign policy? Where is your diplomacy? I want to say that Tahawur Rana, which many of you tried for so long to get, is finally here because of us. I want to say TRF was designated not because somebody out there made a remark. TRF was designated as a global terrorist organization because our diplomacy persuaded another country to do that. Now, our strong stance has resonated across the world. I was some time ago in Germany, and standing next to me, the German foreign minister said, India has every...
That was India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar briefing the Upper House of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, during the debate on Operation Sindoor. He said that how terror group TRF was designated a terror group by the US due to efforts of New Delhi. We will continue to track this big story on WION World is One.